in your view, and you're a chip guy, right? Where are we in the chip cycle right now?
Yeah, I think barring any further really severe macro development, I think we've passed at the bottom, and I think we are slowly grinding towards a recovery. We faced really, and I wouldn't say unprecedented, but pretty serious. One of the serious after the great financial crisis, situation. So recovery would be slow unless the suppliers, cut a supply more aggressively.
James, what happens to Hynix if Beijing does ban Micron? And given the context and given what the US position is, which is pressure on the Korean chip makers not to fill that shortfall?
Yeah, I think I get the intention, but actually executing that is going to be very impractical, because how do you define whether this is going to be a fill of the gap, or is it just a recovery of the demand or actual growth in the demand? So, being a commodity, you can't really put a tag on a chip or a customer and say that this is a filling. So that's one part. And then the second part is that if Micron and if the Korean makers don't supply these memory chips, then China really doesn't have their own, sufficient supply. They could have some, lower tech memory chips, but even the volume is not going to be sufficient to cover their own needs. So I think what the Washington is trying to do is actually to prevent China taking any measures on Micron.
Is Hynix being aggressive enough, James, as far as the supply cuts go in an effort to really rebalance the equation? Do they have to do more?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think they would have to do more. It's good that Samsung has finally announced that they will engage in the supply cuts, which is going to give some breather to Hynix and Micron. So all of three actually, adjusting supply, and I think if they do more, then we might actually come to a point where we would, get to an inflection point. So I don't think that's very far from now.